Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Arancho, and we are live, officially live. The first one didn't go too well. Here we go, Sandy. Yeah, thanks for the patience. We tried about 10 minutes ago, and I guess while we kind of wait for some people to trickle in, I'll explain to you, Sandy. Sometimes OBS, like the streaming software, it like closes improperly, and then what ends up happening is my camera gets disconnected, and the only way to fix it is to like reset my computer. So I did that, and then here we are just on StreamYard on a different streaming platform just to make sure we don't have the problems. So apologies to anyone who was like, what the fuck is going on? I accidentally started like a separate stream that was like unlisted. It was just like, okay, never mind. Let's do this again the right way. So thank you for joining me. I'm Adam Riancho. It is 5:54 p.m. We're going to hop into a puppy today, and then I only think I have time for one. So if you want to join, now is the time to do so. I don't think I'll be able to last after 7 p.m. So we'll just join right now, and then maybe if we get to a certain like threshold at like, let's say 6:20, if we can get to 25 likes by 6:20, then I'll enter a second one just so we have all the time to do that one. But all right, we're joining a puppy, and we're gonna do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm entering on my phone. Now is the time to join. 5 more to start. This lobby should fill pretty soon. We got 3 spots left, and if you want one, come get it. What's up, Hartman? Hope you're having a good Saturday. It's officially 5:55. Good time, good omen. And welcome in, Jamie. Bonne soirée to you as well. It is no longer Frenchy Friday, but always appreciate your comments. And I think this one is full. Yeah, I think this lobby is ready to go. What pick did we get? Pulling out of the 11 slot right next to Sandy at the 10. We got Champ in at pick 9. And then anybody else? I recognize Super Beast in at pick 2. And I think that's about it. What's up, Keith? How you doing? The big shooter. The big shooter. I think I'm going to get some music going. I think today we will be listening to some music. Let me pop that in. I think it's probably a little too loud, though. Yeah, I think that's chill. Okay. So with all of that finally out of the way, I think we're ready to take a hit. Let's smoke it if you got it. Go ahead and join me if you would like. And we begin. Looks like we got Mac Nova is a sharp at the number 8. Good to know. Mostly badges in here. Super Beast has a badge. Juju has a badge. Pick 5 has a badge. Pick 6, 7, 8 also have a badge. And then 10, 11, 12. We all have badges. So not many people without much experience in this one. And then Champ has drafted with us plenty of times, and Champ is a good drafter. Doesn't have a badge. So going to be a tough one. As always, the stream drafts are usually a little bit more finicky. Tougher to navigate. We'll make the most of it. If you do get out alive, that is a badge of honor, I guess. Peter says, guy who won $1 million on my immediate left. Sweet, great game section by me. Is that Mac Nova? I'm guessing that's Mac Nova. That's got to be pick 8. Well, if he's watching, happy to have you. If not, good luck to everyone. May the best man win. But you have to finish top 2. You could be second best. Welcome in, Pepper Tony. Hope your Saturday's going well. We're about to hit 6 p.m. We did take a hit I'm gonna stay balanced. I'm gonna go with Justin Jefferson. Definitely not making it back. We'll get the elite receiver, and maybe have the luxury of moving off that position for a minute. But I'm chill with that. This guy takes Genty. Don't take my boy. Don't take him from me. Leave me Hampton, please. I think the time delay is long enough if he is watching. Yep, he goes to H-Chan. Sweet. Let's go. Never going to be upset with more Chargers on my roster. And similar to like my thought process with Brian Thomas, I know there's a little bit left to be desired that we just haven't seen from Hampton. He gets the excuse of an injury, a high ankle sprain that really derailed the season. A lot of missed time, and I think when he came back, not quite 100%. I was at the game that he got injured, and he took a very long time to get out of the medical tent. So on one hand, it's like, that's not a good sign. Maybe he's a little injury prone. That's worrisome. But I'm willing to excuse a rookie and not overthink it. They drafted him first round for a reason. Last year was an elite running back class, like compared to this year, night and day. And Hampton was always intended to be used at a high rate in a run-first offense. He's the guy you want. And I think the Mike McDaniel edition is just really going to vault him up there. So I know Achane is super talented, but I believe just by the nature of like the Mike McDaniel, coaching bump, I just can't rank Achane above Hampton this year. Maybe Achane delivers and he doesn't miss a beat. Maybe the volume really carries him, but I'm not going to fade. The only player I think I'd be like tempted to buy a jersey from on my favorite team. I'm a Charger fan. Y'all know that, but like, I'm not someone that buys jerseys. I'll buy a hat. I'll buy a sweater. I'll buy something, but a jersey is a big commitment. And then there's always the factor of like, could this player get traded? You know what I mean? Hampton, I think, is the one guy that like on the team, I'd be excited to wear number 8. And I think he could really deliver from like a talent standpoint where like you're proud to wear his jersey. I'm not saying he'll be LaDainian Tomlinson one day, but the Chargers historically have one of the most fantasy relevant running backs in the NFL for the last 2 decades. Austin Eckler, top 3 running back at one point. Melvin Gordon, definitely in the top 10 for a while. Even Ryan Matthews, maybe one of the low points of the history of the Chargers backfield. But we all know LaDainian Tomlinson was the number 1 running back overall at some point. The MVP, I believe, in 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure it was 2006. We saw Raheem Mostert score 20 touchdowns. Achane also had a really productive year. I think the hype on Keaton Mitchell is 100% justified, but I don't think it ever takes away from the true ceiling of Hampton, and I will grab Omarion Hampton all day in round 2. My favorite running backs to draft in round 2 would be Omarion Hampton and Derrick Henry. I'm starting to come around on Chase Brown and Saquon Barkley, but otherwise, I'm down with Kenneth Walker. I'm happy with Genty. And then I think James Cook is also in that tier. But I think for the value and like where you can get them, I was able to draft Justin Jefferson and still get Hampton. I genuinely believe Hampton is one of the best clicks in round 2. The Chargers offense is just a money in the bank play this year. I really think it is. The upgrade from Greg Roman to Mike McDaniel. There isn't a single voice in the fantasy community that is like down on the Chargers. And Jim Harbaugh wants to run the ball. You want Hampton. All right. We got the long turn, so went a little monologue, but got a rep for my guy. And then Chris Olave is still here. Fan-fucking-tastic. I don't quite understand why he fell drastically in the 3rd round. Like a couple weeks ago, he was going where like Nico Collins was. So definitely if you get him in the 4th, nah, that's crazy. You should be taking him in the 3rd. Another dual pair of wide receivers. But the tricky thing is like I'm probably not getting a running back I really like coming back around. So I'm just gonna get year 2 player, bet on talent. Give me Travion Henderson, and then maybe I get like a Baishal Tootin or Jadarian Price in the next round. But odds are that the way these lobbies have been going, pick 59 is not a spot where I'm expecting to get a running back I like. I'm probably going to get a receiver I really like, or maybe I get Lamar Jackson at a steal. But I might miss out on every running back I care about, and I don't want to get behind at that position because it really gets grim past the 5th round. There's not that many names I really trust. And most of those names people are wising up to. This is, like we mentioned, a sharp lobby. So I'm just going to get the position of need. And when I reach on a player like this and it's like, oh, are you really comfortable doing it? You have to remember, like, what is your next pick? Who will be available? And what are you comfortable with passing on in order to just get like ADP value? At the end of the day, we're in the 4th round. Is Travion Henderson a good 4th round pick? I think so. And that's the tier that I want to be like thinking about it with. Like the individual nuances of like this player over this player, you know, I'm not going to have every team be the same, but I'm trying to build the team structurally. I got Jefferson, I got Olave. Despite the value of receiver in round 4, I just don't feel confident that I'll get a running back in round 5 that compares to what we got with Travion. And I might get a receiver that is very comparable to the receivers we were getting. Like someone took Terry at 39. Yesterday we got Terry at 56. Shit's weird. But as I say that, only like receivers come off the board. So maybe I'm going to get a really good value. Who knows? But I'm expecting a lot of green off the board in round 5. That's my expectation. Let me catch up with the chat. I'm sorry. Any day that starts with S is cool with me. I absolutely second that. Drafting JMO diets and drinking JMO diets. Is there a diet Jameson? I'm thinking of the whiskey. Came back at 6, pulled. Yo, sorry, young Moolah. I had a lot of technical difficulties today. I blame OBS, but my bad. My bad. And then I think we might only have time for one. Okay, we got 20 people watching. If I get 20 likes by 6:20, so another 15 minutes, then I'll do a second lobby. But I think I have to be out of here by 7. I got a hard out today, and I will check the likes at that point. If we can hit 20, I'll do another one. And if y'all want to hop in with me, we'll just multi-table for a while. And however many rounds I'm drafting to, so be it. But I'll let y'all know now. I don't think I can do anything past 7 p.m. Okay, so running back was okay, but we do have Carnell Tate on the thumbnail. And let's go for it. The vibes, I definitely want to trust. And I'm willing to bet that Niner Fever doesn't grab both running backs here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm starting to really talk myself into Cam Ward even more than I originally was. If you watch this channel, you know that Cam Ward, I think, is one of the more valuable ADP price tags at the position. So if I can set up a stack with that, I'll be pretty happy. The problem with Cam Ward last year was the coaching and the weapons. Coaching very much got better. And then the weapons, not only Carnell Tate with a 4th overall pick, but also Wan'Dale Robinson, who has 2 straight years of 140 targets. Like, check and check. Plus, we were a little expecting that Jeremiah Love would go there. That'd be more of a run-first approach. I think they're going to be super pass-heavy. I think Carnell Tate is a Really interesting pick. Now, maybe Tony Pollard was worth pulling up if I really want to like lock in the Tennessee offense, but I don't think I need to go overkill. Let's just get 3 year 2 running backs, expecting a breakout with all 3 of them. We got Hampton, who's a first-round pick, Travion, who's a second-round pick, the 4th running back taken overall, and then Baishal Tutin, I think, was the first running back taken after Caleb Johnson. I think Caleb Johnson went in the 3rd, and then it was Baishal Tutin, and then immediately after was Cam Scadaboo, but maybe Scadaboo went above him. Anyways, we're balanced at running back. We're balanced at receiver. We've gone receiver, running back at both turns, and it's looking pretty solid. Pepper Tony though saying fade Achane at your own peril. I think this year I'm willing to do that. I still like him in the 2nd, but I just don't like him over Hampton or Henry. Sorry, but Tomlinson maybe. Smash the like though. Thank you, Young Moolah. Chuck Muncie, James Brooks, Thunder, and Lightning. This is before my time. I can't say this is off the top of my dome. I'm showing my cards. Barkley or Hampton? Hampton for sure. Hampton, a lot less injury risk in my opinion. But if you want to play it safe, if you want to live in the past, then go Saquon. But if you want to live in the moment, go Hampton. Mike McDaniel turned down the Eagles and Saquon Barkley to go to the Chargers. Now, maybe he was just turning down Jalen Hurts to go to Justin Herbert. That probably makes a little more sense, but maybe he was turning down Saquon for Omarion Hampton. Maybe. I think it's the combination, all the factors involved. Also, like, I think calling the plays for Jim Harbaugh's team as opposed to Nick Sirianni's team, I'm sure is going to be a lot more fun and a bit more peaceful in Southern California as opposed to Philadelphia, with the media just like on your fucking neck all the time. 5-6 turn feels like a spot to get Tutin Price in most drafts before the drop off. I guess those are the 2 that are still available these days, but I've been in a lot of lobbies where they're not. I've been in many lobbies where they're just not there anymore. Yeah, Swift is my favorite in round 5. So for him to not be there anymore makes me less comfortable. Now I'm settling for Tutin. Gotcha. Thank you for joining, MacNova. Thank you for subscribing. I definitely got Tutin. I still got it. So y'all were right. But I'm very happy to have Hampton, Travion, and Tutin. I think I'll take Jaden Reed with some confidence. Yeah, I'm good with that. Just keep building out the flex position. Good evening, Brett. Great info on McDaniels in Philly. Barkley has such an independent workload. It's definitely a tough call. Either way, see both sides. I think it's less about the running back personnel than the quarterback decision he made. But no doubt about it, he was the most coveted option. And look at that, he's still here. I will pair him with Hampton. I think Keaton Mitchell doesn't scare me as a pass catcher. Hampton had a game with 8 receptions, I believe, against the Texans. He was like lighting it up in the passing game. Like, Hampton will be that player in the Mike McDaniel system that made Achane so valuable. He's going to be the pass catcher. So the stack with Herbert and Hampton, I think, is very legit. The Ladd McConkey price, like, I think that is the most like clear spot where you're just paying a tax on getting a Charger on your roster, because you know that their offense is going to be really, really good, and like everyone sleeps on QJ, everyone hates QJ, everyone loves to boo Quentin Johnston, but like at least the last 2 seasons from like a per game standpoint, Ladd had a great stretch, but it feels costly. Like, as much as I love Ladd, I'm not convinced DJ Moore is not a better pick. Like, you could tell me Ladd falls to where Adams is going, and I think it's fair. I'd rather have Ladd than Christian Watson 100%. I think I'd rather have him than Jalen Waddle. But I could see both Chicago Bears receivers more valuable than Ladd. Yeah, it's just an offense that gets really spread out, and I don't think like anyone at the receiver position is just like that elite of a talent to just really deliver all season long. Like, every single week in your lineup, you're going to have a few duds. You're going to have a few games where they just don't need to step up. It's just not their week. So Ladd, a little expensive. And then, well, I love T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins would have been my other go-to draft pick if I didn't go Travion. A lot of the receivers in round 4 feel the same. There's a lot of problems you can point out and games where they're just not going to deliver. And then there's also like the true upside argument where, like, yeah, maybe they drop 35 the week that you need them. So they're all fair, but I can also say Travion might drop 35 the week you need him, you know? And I already had Olave and Jefferson. So structurally, I was really happy to go Hendo. And we still got Tootin. But we're keeping it balanced. Quentin Johnston went at pick 96 to the 101 drafter. A good click. He doesn't fall late into the 9th round anymore. He's usually like off the board by pick 100. I've noticed. He used to go in the 7th round. He free fell through the 8th and the 9th. And then I think once he hit like the mid 10th, people woke up like, oh shit, wait. They're picking up his 5th-year option, and they haven't signed or drafted any receivers other than Brendan Thompson. Yeah, maybe QJ is fine. But Hartman says, I like Pollard right after them, but that's it. Yeah. Pollard seems like probably the safest bet once Tootin's off the board. But he was really bad on the goal line last year. Pretty terrible. His yardage, though, was pretty solid. Sandy goes Chris Rodriguez. We're getting a little fall on J.K. Dobbins, but not enough of a fall for me to like be desperate about it. I'm either going to go Kyler or Jordan Love, and I think I'm going to go Kyler today. We got Jefferson on this team. It definitely makes sense. I'm not going to reach on Kyler in like the 8th round where I took Justin Herbert just to secure the stack. I'm going to expect that it falls back around to me. And despite like Jordan Addison probably deserving to fall with the Juwan Jennings signing, I trust Kyler Murray even more. Knowing that he has Juwan Jennings as like wide receiver 3, I feel very secure that Kyler Murray is going to be a safe quarterback to draft at this price. I don't think I'm going to grab a third. I think I'm going to pass on Jordan Love. I could get back in at running back. The only one I like at this price is Kenneth Gainwell. I'm going to pass on JCM this high. I could go Oronde Gadsden. But no, I think I'm going to keep it moving at running back. The massive cliff is coming. And in my opinion, it starts right here. Once Gainwell's off the board, I think there's really no one I feel good about. You can lobby for Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones. A little shaky, honestly. I'm not dying to do it, but the offense should be better as a whole. So, especially if Jones gets hurt, I understand why people like Jordan Mason, but I feel tricky about both of them. And then in Washington, it also feels gross to me. Like, as much as I like Rashad, think he's the guy you want, he's got pretty capped upside. Let's not pretend. Now maybe they just deliver when you really need them, week 17, but I feel better about Gainwell and Tampa's offense with some of the shakiness about Bucky Irving. I mean, I took Travion over Bucky Irving, so I've been doing that a lot more. I've been kind of like refusing to draft Bucky until I know where he, like, once Bucky's in the 5th, I think I'll take him a lot more. But at this point of the season, I think I'm just kind of approaching Tampa's backfield as like Gainwell feels undervalued, where like he could go next to Kyle Monangai, and I think it'd be legit and fair. But Bucky Irving could probably be going closer to Baishal Tootin, Quinshon Judkins, and that's also probably fair. What's up, Albie? How we doing? Good evening and good luck. We'll hop into the next one. Oh, I did set a like goal, a reminder on the like goal. Let me check this. Where are we sitting at on the likes? I don't even have it pulled up, to be honest with you. Let me scroll down, get the chat comment out of the way. But a reminder, this is basically the time. If we're not at 20 likes, I don't think I'm doing a second one because I just don't have the time. After 7 p.m., I gotta leave pretty soon, and just so to make sure I'm in at the right time. We got 25 likes. Okay, I'm seeing that right now. Okay, we will do a second one. I'm gonna make these next 2 picks, and then that way I only have to multi-table for 6 rounds. But yeah, the next like 3 minutes we'll hop into another puppy. So y'all who hopped in later that wanted to draft with me can draft. Yeah, especially if you're on the East Coast right now. Coming up on 9:20 p.m. on the East Coast. But got some dinner plans. But Peter says, watching Hampton last year, he doesn't have awesome wiggle in his routes, but his hands are shockingly good for running back. He's a reliable target when you need him. Moving the ball. Good O-line. Upgrades everywhere. It's hard to think of like reasons to fade him. What's up, Who Hames? How you doing? Thank you for joining. Looks like Bayou's in here as well. Appreciate you for hopping in. Buzzness says, yo, Blunt, I agree with everything you're saying regarding Ladd's draft position. However, I do see it as a possibility of him going crazy with the new offensive coordinator change. That's definitely possible. I think that's why he goes there. But holy shit. Sandy, I know it was a good price, but can't you let me have like one nice thing, buddy? Just one. You know what? Today's the day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Jaden Higgins. And I'll leave tight end alone. I never take him, but I used to take him like crazy last year. 7? It's 420 on my watch. I mean, once I make this next pick, we're definitely... Okay, likely still available. This is the value section of the draft at this position. So I will take Isaiah Likely. And thank God I didn't have to go Khalil Shakir. But okay. I'm going to pull up the puppy in a separate tab. And then once I have it all set, I'll give y'all a countdown. Let me show you the board while I do that. I'll get it prepped very soon. What's up, Alfred? JT Alfred in the house. Welcome in. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. If you are ready, we will be joining a puppy in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm joining on my phone. I'm hitting the button right now. There are 4 spots left in this puppy. The location error was definitely going to hit. So looks like we filled it. Drafting very soon. And I pulled the 106. We'll move back to... Let me take a look at who's in this lobby with us. We got Delay at pick 12. We got Super Beast at pick 10. We got Legion at pick 9. Maybe Yokohama. I think I've drafted with Yokohama before. I don't recognize Ruben Zoo, but he might be with us. Frog Clone, definitely know who Frog Clone is. Not sure if he's watching, but seen him on many other channels chat. Super Shorty in at pick 4. What's up, Steph? And then Albie in at 1 and Alfred in at 2. I'm right next to Zach Yak. Not sure if Zach Yak is watching. But this will be our main draft for the rest of the stream. I will pivot back to the other one when I'm on the clock. Hopefully they don't come in at the same time. But I'll stick with this for the sake of the live stream. And I can probably zoom in if I guessed. Right? Yeah. Okay, I'm on the clock. Taylor CMC. I think I'm going to go CMC today. I feel like I've taken Taylor a lot more than McCaffrey, at least on the live stream for the most part. And today I'll go Christian McCaffrey. But ultimately, pick 6, I think, is really like whatever you want to do is probably okay. There's really no bad picks in that range. It's hard to find the bad picks. And if you want to stress about the injury risk of McCaffrey and go for Taylor, I think that's fine. If you want to go with a receiver there, that's also fine. But you'll probably still get a good running back in the next round. So it's justified. Ooh, Delay goes Genty and Bowers. That's unique. Walker and Hampton to amped Phil. Cook falls to pick 15. And I think both of my picks are going to stack up. Let me share with you this tab instead. I'm about to be on the clock, and that's the team we were originally drafting. So not going to just fully forget about it. I think I'm going to get back in at running back, and we'll go Pacheco here. And then here I'm on the clock. And I'll go double running back. I'll take Chase Brown. I feel like I don't have enough Chase Brown, to be honest with you. Could definitely have more. And then we'll pivot back to our original lobby. Do I want the third quarterback? I don't think so. I think I'm good at receiver for a while. Tight end's a little tricky. I don't really love it, but I think I need tight end kind of more than any other position. I'm going to go TJ Hawkinson. We'll get the double stack. And even though I kind of said I'm not that excited about it, it at least correlates, and it's worth mixing in. It could be the guy you need. So we took Hawkinson with Kyler on that team. But back to this one. We'll stick with this one probably for the next 2 rounds because the other one is 19 picks away. We can wait on that. But I think once I'm done with that second draft, I'll come back to this one and kind of peruse everyone's roster. But because I gotta juggle, I'm a little bit more just locked into my own team and just trying to build it out appropriately. But there's some interesting teams in here. I'm very curious how Jordan is going to go in this round after going Genty Bowers. Very curious. Evie is in pick 8, Yokohama. Welcome in. Sorry I didn't notice your comment earlier, but I'm a little busy. I'm getting back to the chat right now, but Alfred did pull the 102, and then Keith says Cook and Lamb. I know that's a pretty dope combo there. But sometimes I feel like Cook is like so locked in at the top of that tier, and then other times I think he could fall to where like Chase Brown is going, and I don't think it's like insane. All those running backs I feel like could just be going in a much different order, and like it could all be justified. But what's up, Olaf? Hope you're doing well on a fine Saturday. Jason Calhoun, good to see you again. River Rat, the reigning champion of the subscriber league. Welcome. Frog Clone says Gibbs at 3 made it move. I can't lie. Thank you, man. Glad you got the value. Alfred giving you Gibbs at 103. All right, we're coming back on the clock, and we got CMC, Chase Brown, AJ Brown, so double Browntown. And then on this side of the board, there's a lot fewer running back teams, so maybe I should just take running back here, but I think I can wait. I don't feel desperate. Instead, I'm gonna set it up. I don't have many teams with both CMC and Evans, so I'll do that. Oh, they have a bye week set? Bye week in week 3? The fuck? Did y'all notice this? The Niners have a bye in week 3 listed on the website. That's strange. That's odd. Week 3 is also like never an actual bye week. I don't know what that's all about. But all right. Brett says, I've done a few Genty Bowers teams pre-draft. I at least have one. I might have 2. I think I only have 1. I think I did mine at like the 107 or something once. But I'm going to pivot back to my first team of the stream. I think we're done at running back. We're probably done at quarterback. The team after me, been at tight end, so that's probably a position I could pivot to. But I don't know if I'm dying to take AJ Barner, honestly. I think receiver's a little bit more important. Sandy at least didn't snipe me the second time. I'm gonna go. Almost took Tyreek Hill. I meant to go Trey Harris. I'm gonna go Trey Harris. The TH initials, I guess, juked me out for a sec, but we're going Trey Harris with that Herbert Hampton team. Let's bet on a breakout for Trey Harris. If he really breaks out, he's one of the best clicks on the board. And then our other lobby is on the clock. Shit. I'm going to keep fading receiver a little bit. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift and lock up a running back there. And then there's rumors that Njoku is going to go to the Chargers. I'm going to take Njoku because even if he doesn't go there, I don't think he'll be back on the board for me. Like my next pick is 203, and the last time I waited for him in the 17th there, he wasn't available. So I'm going to take him at 182, ADP 199, but I think people are wising up to him, and he will move up the board when the time is ready. So that's my team. I took Likely, Hawkinson, and Njoku last three turns, and Trey Harris for the stack. I think the last 2 picks are probably double receiver. But let me pivot back to our main lobby. A reminder of how things went. I don't think I shared this with you when I made the pick, but I went Swift at pick 54. I almost took DJ Moore, but I left him on the board. I kind of just want a running back in this round 5 tier. And it looks like Baishal Tutin's still falling, but we took Tutin on the last team. I prefer Swift tremendously. and I'm happy to take him. But give me DeAndre Swift at 54. And then after this pick, I'll try to get back with the chat because I got a little distracted. But don't like many of these picks. I'm just gonna take Drake May, and we're gonna bet on the Diana Rossini insider information. That is the stack we need in New England. Drake May, AJ Brown. I'm good with that. But with only 2 rounds left in that other lobby, we'll recap the team briefly, and then I think I'll do some team reviews if you were in that lobby with me at the end, just because I can't do them at the same time. But okay, I'm behind on the chat. From Cook all the way to Brown or even Jacobs, I don't think the running backs are all that different. Yeah, it's just kind of like you need one. You're going to need one. You know you're going to need one, so you better take one. Does anyone know what a buy one means next to some of my players? Today announce buy groups already. Super Beast has a buy one with Javonte and CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, that's got to be wrong. That's just got to be an error. Like the bye weeks never start until week 5 in the first place. So I wouldn't read into that. The schedule's not going to be announced until Thursday, so disregard it. That's my advice. But Pollard at pick 70. That's notable. Damn, Hurts is available, but I don't think I can take him. I suppose I can go Metcalf. Not in love with it. I kind of would just rather go Jaden Reed, honestly. I think that's just what I'm going to do. I need receivers. We went early running back, and then I took Drake May over Harrison. So wide receiver is going to thin out pretty soon. Got to get in while I can. And now the question is, am I going to try and get a value on Brock Purdy is the question. But that other team is on the clock. That team is taking Ted Hurst. And then I'm about to be on the clock with the second pick. Any quarterbacks I like? No one that really pairs up for my team. I think I'll just take another receiver. Or maybe Devon Claiborne. That's tempting. Yeah, that's kind of tempting. I'll do that. All right. We'll recap that team at the end. I can lock in on this team now. And I want to check out some of your other starts because there's a lot of y'all in here with me. And I'm very curious how this lobby has gone so far. If I need to worry that I'm behind at a certain position. But damn, Quentin Johnston would pick 85. Damn it. You sniped me. Fuck. You sniped me on Quentin Johnston. But Rapture says, it says the Ravens are... There's no way. That's impossible. You know, that's impossible. Yeah, very incorrect. Okay. Am I gonna risk it? Am I gonna risk it? Teams after me. There's a few with no quarterback. I don't think I'm going to risk it. But Godwin is really calling my name. All right. I'll be at the mercy of the board. If I don't get the stack, it is what it is. Y'all know I need it. Y'all don't have a stack. So if you just want to snipe me on Purdy, be my guest. It's your team, your decision. I've done it against other people, so can't be upset if it happens. I'm willing to risk it. Ooh, the Pearsall factor comes in with Frog Clone. Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you, Frog Clone. I'm gonna skip your conversation with Brett just for the sake of time, or with Brew Crew. Oh, sweet. The Pearsall drafter just took Golden, so I think it might work out. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is still on the board. Super shorty. If you go Purdy over T-Law, damn, I'm tempted to just take T-Law here. T-Law 102 doesn't make sense for my team, but damn, good price. Somebody's gonna get it. But I'm going Purdy. Drake May, Brock Purdy. That feels very strong. Thank you, Best Ball Berserker, for the agreement. I mean, Burrow went at 59. I think I trust Drake May more than Caleb, and then Hurts had a few like things left to be desired last year. But damn, this is a lobby that hates Trevor Lawrence. I guess we're not going to know. I'm not going to stress about it. At this point, we just don't have the schedule. We don't know. Don't stack Dallas and Baltimore together, it looks like. I mean, yesterday I set that up in my Frenchie and then passed on Lamar. Set up a commander stack instead. Is there a team in this one that has that? I'm not sure. Jordan got caught in a queued up glitch with the Quentin Johnston click. I mean, I think it's fine. I think round 8 is probably fine. Now, is he better than everyone that went after him? Maybe not, but I could also see him be more valuable than that. So I think it's a fine click. I wanted to do it, so I'm glad I went Godwin there. I'm glad I pushed Purdy. It definitely worked out. The run behind me, though, is scary. Damn. Nothing but purple after my click. Romeo Dobbs finally circling back down this far. That's not terrible. I have CMC, Chase Brown, and DeAndre Swift. I don't think I need running back desperately, but I might take Romeo Dobbs here. We'll see what Ruben Zoo does, but I think I might take Romeo Dobbs. Nope, not today. Bummer. I still like Wandale. We didn't get Gadsden last time, but I mean, it's basically the same thing. Bucket. I think it's right, so I'm just going to do it. Kind of locked myself mentally into getting Dobbs, so I also think the receiver room is good enough where, like, knowing that I only need one more running back the entire draft the rest of the way, I can lock in with wide receiver for a little bit. Wandale is valuable, but I'm willing to push it. Also, I kind of want to stop with just Drake May and Brock Purdy. I don't really feel desperate to take whatchamacallit, Cam Ward. I do like him, but I don't feel desperate. Steph says, yeah, I would have if I didn't set up a double up. You had Puka and Blake Corum. Yeah, I get it. If you had Adams, it would be like unquestioned. Plus, the team behind you had Adams, so if Stafford somehow fell to 116, he's probably coming off the board. I get it. Sometimes the value is not worth it ultimately. Fair decision. Didn't he cut his hair? Am I wrong, or did I see that he cut his hair? Maybe I heard someone say that. I don't think I can mentally picture it, but I wonder if Gadsden's falling because of the Njoku rumors. I guess that's got to be the case, right? But I will say, tight end is still pretty valuable in the next round. Might regret it, but I know receiver falls off a cliff. So I'm going to go Jalen Coker. I like Jalen Coker a lot. I'll take Jalen Coker. Willing to push it. And I don't have Herbert on this team, so the stack isn't really like forced and necessary. I've been taking Gadsden a lot lately. But Best Ball Berserker says Drake May is going to be throwing bombs to AJ and Romeo all year long. Not sure why he dropped below some of these guys. I think once the AJ Brown trade is official, he probably moves up where like no one ever passes in round 6. And maybe he goes closer to like Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels than, Caleb. But the quarterback market's weird, like Lamar feels like he's going like at a steal in the late 5th. Half the time he's past pick 55. Today he went pick 57, like the price on Lamar feels really weird. Price on a lot of quarterbacks feels really weird. But I think also like the nature of how we play this game with all the stacks, there's an element of you take this player here because you have the combo, and then even if it's a value, sometimes you pass just because it doesn't fit your build. Peter says Godwin's my most drafted post-draft and second most pre-draft. Love the click. It feels really strong. It's kind of like why I like Quentin Johnston versus Ladd. I'm starting to lean a little bit more like maybe I should be drafting Chris Godwin at a higher rate than Egbuka just because it's so much cheaper. The upside's still pretty comparable, and like really there's just injury risk. But Godwin has more injury red flags than, someone like Quentin Johnston. But for him to go next to Ricky Pearsall, I think is fine. Sure. I think so. I think I'll go Kincaid today. We took Likely on the last one. I don't take Kincaid very often, but he falls here into the 12th. This is where I think he should be going. I think this lobby was actually very sharp at the tight end position today. Andrews probably deserves to go there. I think that team did have Lamar, so it makes a lot of sense. Goddard, I think, should have gone in the 11th. Maybe I should have took him, but before Jefferson and Kincaid, I think is right. I think this order is actually very, very proper. Now, is Kelsey, King, and Kittle, are they going at the right spot? I'm not so sure, but I think the way that this just went, Goddard could go a little higher, but Ferguson and Kincaid after Goddard and Andrews, I think is the way to go. Likely fell to 144. Pretty good price for Albie as his tight end 2. He also has Tyler Warren, who just stacked up with Daniel Jones and Josh Downs. Pretty nice. Would have loved Okonkwo or Henry to make it back to me. So, damn, the tight end position just got a little tricky. I was kind of expecting Hunter Henry to be available here. That was kind of a bummer. But I'm not going to let the T-Law drafter get the strange stack. I think he's just the best tight end left on the board. I think Juwan Johnson's in a similar tier to him, but I have a lot more Juwan Johnson than I do Brenton Strange. So today I'm taking Strange, and I'm preventing the fall any further to stack up with the Trevor Lawrence team. If Legion got Andrews, Goddard, and Brenton Strange stacked up, that'd be pretty wild. But I think my team is rounding out pretty nicely. I'm happy with it. And if I get a really good value on one player in the next round, I think I'll take him. But in general, I'm not really trying to advertise who that player is when all of you are in this lobby and it's a position that's usually of need. I don't think he'll be back, though. I think odds are he's not going to make it back to me. Keith says, prefer this lobby over the last one. This one is sharp, but also very fair prices. Like, I think a lot of sound decisions have been made, and like for Hunter Henry and Okonkwo not to make it back to me, I think is probably smart and fair ultimately. Alfred did not have a tight end yet, so in the same boat as me, we go tight end around 12 and 13, and he gets his guys. The player I was referencing was Bryce Young, and as expected, I thought Delay would probably take him when he only has Kyler. Was he stacked up? Yeah, with Tet. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Arizona Speak says, hey, quick question for the upcoming season. In what order would you rank Genty, Hampton, Chase, Walker, and Love? I'm going to assume that's Chase Brown, not Jamar Chase, because all of these are running backs. I'm pretty sure that's what you mean. So we'll stick it with running backs. I'm going to go Hampton, Genty, Walker, Chase, and then Love. Give me Omarion Hampton, then Ashton Genty, Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, and Jeremiah Love. Okay, not a full buzz cut or anything like that, but 2 inches off the top, or off the split ends, to quote you. Okay, at least it's something. But he's had a very up and down career. I want to believe that last year is legit and that Liam Cohen is just like fixing everything. There's nothing to worry about. But there's also been times when he has been pretty lackluster. I'm going to go Antonio Williams because I'm not convinced that Jalen Naylor is going to have more competition and is a position I need. And Antonio Williams keeps moving up the board. Seems like he's a very coveted option. So wide receiver 6, I had AJ Brown, Mike Evans, Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, Jalen Coker, and Antonio Williams. I think at this point, if I needed to stop at 7, I could, but I think odds are I'm going to go with 8. And I still need one more running back for sure. I need one more tight end for sure. And then I'm probably going to cool it on quarterback. I think investing in Drake May round 6, Brock Purdy round 9, stopping at 2 is fine. It's nice to have a third, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Right now, Yokohama and Ruben Zoo are the only teams with 3 quarterbacks so far. And they waited until round 8 to take their first. Meanwhile, I took my first in round 6. Now, there is a world where I think Herbert or Mahomes could outscore Drake May. And maybe they have a better quarterback room, not just with the number 1, but just overall volume. But I think the way I built this team, I'm happy to bet that this is how I want to approach it. Probably just going to stick with 2, especially knowing that Rodgers just went off the board to Frog Clone. Y'all know he's one of my favorites, and I usually take him in the 180s. So now Rodgers in the 170s, probably where he should have always been going, if not higher. I think I'm going to take a guy I don't take too often, and like if there's a running back, I'm a little worried about injury concern in round 2. It would be Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker has actually missed quite a lot of time over the course of his career. So I do like Emmett Johnson from a talent standpoint. I thought he got drafted too late, and I thought the landing spot was really good. Not only can he contribute a little bit because Walker is usually in a time split historically, I also think Walker could go down and Emmett Johnson could really, really crush. I don't think they're going to bring back Kareem Hunt. That's really the only variable left that could trash this value. But my RB5 on a room I don't really need much of a commitment to, I'll go Emmett Johnson. Don't think he'll make it back. I love Tank Bigsby. I have a shit ton of Tank Bigsby. Love Nick Singleton. I have a shit ton of Nick Singleton. And I've taken Mike Washington a little bit more often than Emmett Johnson. So I'll go in that direction. I think it's funny that Emmett Johnson at one point was going at pick like 110, and then he fell this into like the 180s. Meanwhile, Mike Washington started out at like pick 200, rose to like pick 130, and now they both go in the same round. It's pretty funny. But Olaf says, I just took Corum 8th round weekly winners for 2 touchdown upside. Yeah, he does have that potential, but it's still a split backfield. I don't know if he's like the safest bet for a 2 touchdown game, but the Rams backfield, super valuable. Value should outweigh a stack, in my opinion, if it's 10 plus positions of ADP. Yeah, that's a fair point. Sometimes we do get kind of like locked in on like the only way to build a team is through the stack. But at times I also understand, like, maybe there's a reason why we all passed on Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we claimed that this lobby was sharp when we hopped in. It seemed like a lot of y'all know what you're doing. Maybe a collective fade on T-Law is just a true blind spot, or maybe the tier that he's going in is actually not that much different from an individual player standpoint. And perhaps his like 40-pointer in week 15 in the playoffs last year is what maybe clouds some of his price. I apologize to the Rodgers drafter, but I think I need a safety pick at tight end. I think I need a third because Kincaid is very up and down, very hard to trust, and Freiermuth is one of the most valuable, like, mispriced tight ends in the first place. So I'm just gonna take Freiermuth because he's not gonna make it back. I think the Rodgers drafter frog clone was absolutely gonna take him at 190, if not 195. So sorry, bud. Thank you for drafting with us, but it's not personal. It's just my rankings and my team need. But Gunnar Helm is pretty good in this range. He has a lot of upside too. I don't love that Carnell Tate joined the roster for the sake of his target share, but they don't have another tight end to threaten his routes, so he'll be on the field. And that's why I took Freiermuth. I want someone that's on the field. But I think Helm has actually like less upside and less guarantees than Freiermuth. Backstacking is more important than the main stack that everyone does. Sometimes depends on the player, because you can't tell me that's accurate for like Joe Burrow or Caleb Williams. There are some quarterbacks you can never backstack with value. Albie almost took Sadiq. Sadiq fell to 154. He took Likely and Daniel Jones. I think he made the correct decision. I'm super tempted to take a 4th tight end, honestly, but I feel like I should probably mix in a random Zachariah Branch. I haven't taken him yet, but I've been thinking about it, and today we're going to do it. At the moment, he is the wide receiver 2 in Atlanta. Like, that alone is why, like, he's probably worth the click. The click. It's just so fucking late. Like, would you rather have Malik Willis's wide receiver 2 or Tua's wide receiver 2? Michael Penix's wide receiver 2 in the Kevin Stefanski system, or whatever system the Dolphins are running. Just from a depth chart standpoint, like, I think Jeremy Bernard is much more talented than Zachariah Branch. I think he's a much safer athlete to invest in, but he's the wide receiver 3 in Pittsburgh, and Rodgers hates rookies. Meanwhile, Branch is going almost 20 picks later, and he's wide receiver 2 in his offense. I'm coming around to it. It's probably worth it. Probably. Frog's gonna get A-Rod every time he can. I mean, I thought I was a Rodgers lover. I guess not enough in this lobby. Rodgers at 171. Haven't seen him go that high in a minute, but he's always deserved, I think, to go closer to like CJ Stroud, Daniel Jones, 150. Bryce Young range. But over Mendoza, probably correct as well. Shout out to Meg from Fanspeak. A-Rod. Yeah, she loves him too. She loves Scadaboo, A-Rod, Pat Freiermuth. Yeah, I agree with Meg on her Pittsburgh Steelers take. In wholehearted honesty, I think Rodgers and Freiermuth have been some of the best values for quite a while, and they're probably going to stay super valuable for a minute. I don't think the Rodgers price will adjust, but I'm not convinced the Freiermuth price is going to move up that much. I think it's going to stay a steal for a while. Question here is, do I take Brissett unstacked? I don't think so. I think the team I built probably needs another wide receiver, more likely than not. Are there any Patriots worth it? Maybe Mac Hollins. Oh no, Kyle Williams I think I'd rather have, but only if I time out. I think I'm gonna take him. Yeah, I'll go Mac Hollins to. Oh no, Kyle Williams. We'll bring Kyle Williams back in. Last year's receiver class was also really good, and I'm willing to bet on the year 2 breakout. Just a bit of a leap. I think he could beat out Kayshon Boutte. I don't think it's impossible. And Mac Hollins probably is a worthless pick, especially if they bring in AJ Brown. But what if they don't bring in AJ Brown? Like, what if the trade just doesn't happen? What if? I doubt it, but at this point, I think it's locked in. What if? Anyways, let me catch up with the chat. We'll take a look at some rosters, and then I'll bounce because it is 7, and I got to leave in the next like 5-10 minutes. But quarterbacks in general are just bound to get cheaper as tourneys progress. I don't think Rodgers is going to get cheaper, but was very interested in the decision you had with Lawrence and Purdy. I know I kind of wanted to take Lawrence badly, but to have CMC and Evans, I'm not going to reach on Purdy, but I think I'm just going to take Brock Purdy there. Alford just doesn't like the hair. Very true, Blunt, but with players that drop like T-Law did, not saying T-Law is right choice, but I just might be a valuable. But yeah, I mean, it's unique to get in that late. That's for sure. There's not that many teams that can get it. I've been doing a lot of Branch, has some floor if they don't trade for someone or sign a vet. Mystery of a rookie, there's ceiling that he's actually good. He's going late enough at this point where I'm willing to roll the dice. If you told me he goes where like Travis Hunter's going, I don't think I'm going to do it. But in round 17, round 18, from a depth chart standpoint alone, it makes all the sense I need to bring him in. Just took the first Zach Branch share today as well. Yeah, it doesn't feel great, but it's probably worth mixing in at times. I'm not going to bring in Chisholm. I'll tell you that. Not going to do that. All right, but Steph says, kind of wish I took T-Law after that. There was a chance that you got Stafford back. Yesterday on the draft, on the stream, I did push Stafford to 117. He made it back. But T-Law Baker with a unstacked T-Law versus Stafford with a Puka stack. Not bad. You did take Travis Hunter later. There were some backstack options. All right, let me take a look at some rosters in this one. We do have David. Are you in this lobby? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anybody in this lobby other than Albie is a member. So I'm gonna review Albie's team for sure, And then if you want one, drop it in the chat, but I will be done. I'm going to bounce in the next few minutes. But first, a reminder of my team. So we're going to go through both and then Albie's team, and then we'll check the clock and see what happens. But Drake May, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Chase Brown, DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, Emmett Johnson. Love the running back room. Fan-fucking-tastic. Wide receiver with A.J. Brown and Mike Evans. Both of those are stacked up. Awesome. Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, from a value standpoint, love them. Was happy to reach on Reed. And Godwin, I think, is just a good click. Coker, because I felt like I didn't want to fall behind, and Coker is a bit of a tier break. So wide receiver 5, I like him in that slot. And then 2 rookies, Antonio Williams, Zachariah Branch, really good landing spot at the moment. They're the number 2 option on their team. So I think justified to bring them in with some high hopes. And then Kyle Williams, from a breakout standpoint, also stacks up, and he's a deep threat, can score a long touchdown. So maybe like 3 spike weeks is all I'm going to get out of Kyle Williams, but maybe at the right time, he'll drop 18 points when I need it most. Tight end, we got a little value on Kincaid. Don't love it. Thought I would get Hunter Henry, but settled for Brenton Strange. And then I took Pat Freiermuth because collectively, I think I 100% needed a third. And with only 2 quarterbacks, I think I can very much tolerate the third tight end here. So that's the team that we just drafted. And now let's remind you of our first team, the one that we started with out of the 11 slot. I got Herbert and Kyler Murray. Again, only 2 quarterbacks. I think it's okay. I think Herbert's just going late enough where he could really deliver. And then Kyler is in a great spot, probably does deliver as well. But Herbert is stacked up with Hampton. I also reached on Travion, but no regrets on that. Beischel, Tootin, Kenneth Gainwell. So again, a team with Gainwell as RB4. It feels really safe. We went Pacheco and then the luxury pick of Damon Claiborne. Maybe unnecessary, but let me evaluate the full team before I write it off. I got Jefferson stacked up, Olave as wide receiver 2, Cardinal Tate number 3, Jaden Reed number 4, Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris, and Ted Hurst. It's okay, but if I mixed in an 8th, maybe with Zachariah Branch, I'd feel better. You know, maybe that was the better decision. Tight end, likely Hawkinson and Njoku. So yeah, maybe wide receiver 8 was more valuable than running back 6, but there are some risk factors with Travion and Beischel Tootin, and nothing really guaranteed with Pacheco or Claiborne. So if they hit, it's worth it. Aaron Jones probably misses some time, and I'm not that convinced that Jordan Mason is that good. So I do like Claiborne in the final round, but maybe unnecessary. Maybe not the correct decision at the end of the day. I'm going to check out Albie's team, but it looks like Keith is requesting a review. So is Steph. I'll do both of yours. Keith, you are at you're champ, right? Just because your name is different, please confirm for me which team you got. I'm pretty sure you're champ, but I don't want to be wrong. Oh wait, no, it's in this lobby. My bad. Sorry, the name evades me. Let me know which team it is specifically. But Albie is at the 101. That one's easy to find. Peter's champ. Gotcha. Keith, are you Super Beast? Okay, let me know. Albie took Bo Nix and Daniel Jones. Little thin. With Daniel Jones, I don't like only having 2. I'll say that up front. But I suppose you could get away with it, but I don't love it. Bijan, Jeremiah Love, Travion, Aaron Jones, and Emmanuel Wilson. That's pretty strong running back room. Wide receiver has Nico Collins, J-Mo, Mekhi Lemon, Josh Downs, Jaden Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy, and Pat Bryant. Pretty solid, pretty good. The Colts investment is there. Only stack with Bo Nix is Pat Bryant, though. I assumed you would have had like Waddle or like Sutton. Tyler Warren, Isaiah Likely, and Stowers. Yeah, you're missing a quarterback. That's what I think is... The room might have punished you a little bit. And that's where sometimes taking Tyler Warren is a really tricky proposition. Like the receivers there, I understand passing on both of those clicks with receiver, but like imagine if you just had like Jalen Hurts. You know, Hurts doesn't need to be stacked. And then maybe like instead you go like Goddard stacked up. I think it's a little thin at quarterback. That's the problem here. I think the quarterback room is just a little too thin, but an extra receiver that just probably doesn't need to be there. And then the Stowers pick, I don't understand why people like Stowers, not going to lie. All right. Good luck, but going to be tough in this lobby with those quarterbacks. Quarterback for super shorty, Steph at pick 4 has Stafford, Baker, and Mendoza. Not bad, but she says she kind of wishes she took T-Law at a good price. David Montgomery, Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Warren, Blake Corum, Tyjae Spears, and Kalen Black. So a strong room. You got a lot of volume, but like player take wise, I don't really love Chuba personally. I'm Rico over Jalen Warren. So to reach on a Pittsburgh running back, I'm gonna go with Rico. And then I think you took Chuba over Pollard. Yeah, I'm also Pollard over Chuba. So I just see it differently. The volume that they're gonna get though is probably justified to like invest in them as well. I'm just kind of pilled on Brooks, and I just don't take Chuba very often. So like just the names I'm not like in love with, but like addressing it this way I think is pretty wise because your first running back was Montgomery in round 5. So to go 4 straight running backs I think makes a lot of sense. And then Tyjae scares me a little bit. Black also not guaranteed he's the handcuff. Yeah, a little bit of a tough call at running back, but you have enough of volume. It should be fine. Puka, Rashi Rice, Egbuka, Jawan Jennings is the 4th. That's tricky. Travis Hunter, Ted Hurst, and Tank Dell. Yeah, the depth is a little shaky, but the top 3 should be all right. Trey McBride and Travis Kelce. Yeah, the Trey McBride click is hard to move past. Even in round 3, I don't blame you for taking him, but it's a little tough to come back from. I just never really like my teams when I take Trey McBride, even in the 3rd. But volume wise, I think every position that you took where you took made so much sense. Like wide receiver, Trey McBride. And then the value, I would have gone Travion personally, but then to go 4 running backs, you do like, it all makes sense. Quarterback there makes plenty of sense, but the value on T-Law might have been worth it. I think it was justified to take Stafford though for your build. And then receiver just kind of falls off in terms of like options down the stretch. Tank is so risky. Travis Hunter is so risky. And I kind of feel like you're relying on them. So that's where I feel like it's a little shaky. And then I just don't really love Hubbard and Warren, but only 2 shares of McBride, especially when you don't do it too often. It's hard to know like how is the correct way to approach it. So good luck with that. Def have more Rico as well. I think you can advance, but in order to do that, I think some of my takes are gonna be wrong. So I'm not rooting for it to happen. But good luck. I appreciate you drafting with us, and best of luck on the weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. Everyone watching, it looks like Keith says, I'll save my review for a better team. I think I ran out of time, my man, but you're in here a lot. I appreciate you. I'll definitely review on the next time. And thank you guys so much for joining me, but it is 7:12. I do got to get going. I told you I had a heart out. Time for me to go. Peace out. Bye-bye. See you later.